What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome to episode 17 of the Reviewpoint podcast, coming to you, of course, from fanboysanonymous.com. I am Tony Mango. I'm joined tonight by Caroline Oliveira.
Hello.
We're going to talk about Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Now, just to give you a little backstory of what the hell Reviewpoint is, it's pretty simple. It's just kind of a review thing. We talk about what we think was a hit, a miss, positives, negatives, etc., etc. That's an easier way for us to review stuff instead of having to go beat by beat and, kind of doing it like that. But also need to remind everybody that we will be talking about some spoilers here. So if you have not seen the movie yet and you don't want to know what's happening, bookmark this, go watch the movie, then come back and listen to us. Or if you don't care, then listen to us ahead of time, but just don't blame us because, we told you. So overall first impressions, what did you think about the movie?
Well, I would just want to say right from the get-go that action movies are not like my forte. So I might be saying stuff that you guys would be like, oh, she has no idea what she's talking about. So just give me a break. I actually liked it. I went in not really having any high hopes. I had some high hopes because I really love Simon Pegg. But I was really unsure. I mean, it's a good action movie, and I feel that you don't really have to be a Mission Impossible fan to enjoy it. I mean, I haven't seen all the movies, and I could follow fairly easily, and it was okay. I mean, it was a good action movie.
Which ones have you seen?
I've seen the first one that I actually rewatched today, and oh man, that one is so bad.
It's pretty damn boring.
I saw Ghost Protocol, and I saw... Oh, wait. Ghost Protocol was the fourth one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the one that came before this.
Yeah. So, I watched the first, the second, and Ghost Protocol.
It's the second one with all the doves and...
Yes, that one I actually watched when I used to live in Brazil in an English class. And I still have no idea why they picked this movie. Because it's not like it's really dialogue heavy, but I mean, I remember watching it and...
No, it's not a classic or,
Well,
That's
I guess,
really
it really is. But, Tom Cruise climbing cliffs and doves flying, that's America.
If you are interested, by the way, anybody listening, in our 4 Real Movie Club that we did the 4 Mission Impossible movies that come before Rogue Nation, and essentially the second film breaks down to us talking about how handsome Tom Cruise is with that long hair. Especially Sean, he's just kind of like, yeah, he's hot.
Oh, Sean.
But I gotta say I like the movie too. I think that overall these movies keep getting better.
Yeah.
Like the first one's pretty tough to get through.
Yeah.
And the second one's kind of goofy and but it's a little bit more entertaining. The third one's legitimately just better, and Ghost Protocol kind of starts getting into a better rhythm, and I think that this one kind of carries that over. I really like, on top of it, that they keep this continuity going a little bit. In the third film, they're dealing with his wife, and then one of the big storylines in Ghost Protocol is the whole what happened to his wife, and at the end of it, they introduce that he's looking for the Syndicate, and then bam, that's our plot for this one. It's the Syndicate,
Yeah.
And they even reference back that the missile hit that one part of that one building. I can't remember the name of it in this movie. That was kind of cool. I thought that was a hit.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know what the movie's about, quick little breakdown. Well, all right. If you don't know what the Impossible Mission Force is, then you're really going to be lost. But essentially, Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt, he's our main spy. He works for the Impossible Mission Force, which is kind of an offshoot of the CIA. They're not officially like the NSA, but they sort of are. Kind of. Essentially, let's make up a fake thing so we can do a whole bunch of crazy shit and not have to answer to it. And they are kind of against, and I think they refer to it as an anti-IMF. The Syndicate is made up of a bunch of former agents from different countries, and they're all trying to incite chaos and stuff. There you go. Basic, simple plot. It's not like a thinking man's movie.
Not at all, yeah.
But we deal with a couple of the main characters that have been over the course of the past couple of movies. Jeremy Renner is William Brandt. They introduced him in the last film. Simon Pegg, you mentioned earlier, he's Benji Dunn. He's kind of the Q, essentially. You got Luther, not Luther. Luther
yeah.
Stickle. I'm flashing back to Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
I was like, he's not that. He's Marcellus. But...
Marcellus! He does not look like a bitch.
In the fifth, your ass goes down, Solomon. He is back as Luther Stickle, Ving Rhames. We've got the obligatory, you gotta have the main female character, that's Elsa Faust, and I don't remember who plays her, because I don't remember if I've ever seen her in anything, but...
Rebecca, I just watched it. I have no excuse. I know her last name is Ferguson. I'm guessing Rebecca Ferguson, but I might be wrong.
Yep, Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh, yay!
We also have Alec Baldwin is CIA Director Alan Hunley, and our main villain is Sean Harris. He plays Solomon Lane, who is creepy as fuck in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
Mostly his voice.
He's upper jaw freaked me out. Like his profile, he looks as if he's like constantly sucking on a pacifier because he has like a little like mouth of a fish. I don't know. He has a mouth of a fish, and he kind of looks slightly alien-esque. He's weird. And he has, like, the whole Steve Jobs wardrobe thing going on. He's bizarre.
Did you like him as a villain? Do you think that's a hit or a miss?
You know what? And I'm sorry, everybody who is a big fan of Mission Impossible, but I cannot help it but compare it to the Bond movies a lot. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I love in the Bond movies are the villains. I think they're so layered and weird, and they have like stuff going on. And this one, he looked really weird. But I kind of like, we had so little on his backstory. He was a British intelligence agent, and he just decided that he just wanted to create chaos or something like that. I'm probably like missing stuff, but I didn't get a lot for him. Yes, he was creepy, but to me he was very shallow. Like he only had like one side, and he was just like creepy, and he had very fashion forward glasses. And that was it. So I kind of wish that they had spent more time with him and made him a little bit more interesting.
Now, I've said before many, many times that I'm a huge James Bond fan, so I always compare them too. And
yeah.
I gotta kind of agree. Like, I liked him in it, but he was a little bit flat. And
yeah.
One of my problems with the Mission Impossible films is not only the fact that, like, there's always a scene where somebody can just rip off a mask and it's like, oh my god, it's such a fake out. But at the same time, what bugs me is every one of these movies has been something about, like, the IMF is a problem.
Right.
So, in this movie, even they were pointing out, they're like, well, IMF keeps, like, saving the day, but they keep fucking things up, too. And
right,
it's like,
yeah.
You think about it, and spoilers, of course, if you haven't seen the movie, it ends up being that not only is this former British agent the head of this terrorist organization, but also the good British agent is a part of this. He's created the whole damn thing.
Right.
And it's like, god damn it. Like, first movie is all about IMF guy goes rogue. Second movie is IMF guy goes rogue. Third movie is IMF guy goes rogue. Fourth movie, I can't even remember the fuck. Oh, that was the where they have to be on the run because they think that they've gone rogue. And then in this one, they're on the run because they think that they've gone rogue, and they have absolutely like the reason to believe that because they fucking did almost. It's like,
right, yeah.
Damn it, like you never hear this happening with MI6.
Exactly. I kind of wish that there was like some sort of like cross movie between them and
Bond would kick his ass.
Yeah, Bond will kick his ass, like looking fly in his cars, like doing everything he can and being like nice looking and just badass, and Ethan Hunt just being a retard.
Well, what do you think of Ethan? Like, his character's gotten a little bit more of a darker edge to it, it seems, over the past couple of movies, and I liked him in this one a little bit more than maybe the last one, because he was a little bit more vicious.
Yeah.
He killed a lot more people in this movie, I think.
Yeah, right? I wasn't sure if I was imagining things or maybe I'm seeing too much horror, but I felt that this movie overall was way more violent than the other ones. Like, even when Elsa kills the Bone Doctor, like, that was, like, we didn't see, like, a big gruesome death, but it was kind of, like, cringe-worthy. Like, it was like, oh, okay, they went there. Well, anyways, what do I think about Ethan? I don't dislike him as a hero. Yes, like, comparing to how he started on the first movie, he's so much better now. The main problem that I have, I think it's because my mind has a hard time separating the character Ethan from Tom Cruise, the character. So like in a movie, I was like watching when he starts getting aggravated, he starts screaming. I just had like a flashback of him on Oprah jumping on the couch, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Like, it took me out of the movie. So I don't know. I don't think he's a bad actor. I just feel like I'm just like so conditioned of like seeing him doing crazy things, even though he has toned down a lot lately. But character-wise, he's all right. I like Bond way more than I like him, but he's okay. I mean, I kind of liked in this movie that he messed up with the whole, like, when he was underwater and he was, and he got hit with whatever that thing that was, like, rotating, was, and he messed up the cards for a second. Of course, everything was fine at the end, but, like, that was, I kind of like when I see somebody who tends to be this action hero that is going to get shit done at the end of the day. I like to see them mess up and show more like a vulnerable side to them. So he's much better than he was, yeah.
And he's a lot more believable, even though he's older. Like, I don't know, like, I believe in this guy being able to kill people more than when he was 30. Yeah. He just seemed like a little kid or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he really looked so young. So young.
I'll tell you who I don't really like, though. I don't like Jeremy Renner's character all that much. He's a little bit bland and boring. I mean, he's not, like, bad. Like, he's not a character that, like, I was bored when he was on screen and stuff. But in comparison to somebody like Benji,
yeah,
like, Benji's fun and, interesting. And then Brandt comes on the scene, and every single line that he has is just kind of like, I don't know what we should do, guys. And, like...
Yeah, I feel like he would be it was such a missed opportunity with his character, because if they had played more on that side of him being more conflicted, like, what should he do, like, should he keep protecting Ethan and believing in him, or should he actually be doing something else? Like, I liked when he decided to call the CIA guy, and then later we see that he was, like, kind of like part of the plan. But that was the one moment in the movie that I was like, oh, okay, I actually might like this character a little better, because he did one thing that, to me, felt more believable for his character. Like, he wasn't like the director of the, like, what is his role in the Mission Impossible?
Jeremy Renner's?
Yeah.
The Ghost Protocol one, he was like, he was an agent that was assigned to protect Ethan's wife.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
And it was that whole thing where he thought that she got killed, so then he went into just, like, the analytical stuff, and tried to get like a hold of him and wasn't sure if he should tell him, but then he found out at the end that it was all like a ruse, and he was just kind of like, oh, I guess I'll be a normal guy again. And then it was like, but I'm still gonna be a bureaucratic asshole.
Right. I thought that in this movie he was meant to be like a higher agent or something, because the movie starts pretty much with him in front of the Senate.
Right.
So
like
I thought
a go-between.
Yeah, exactly. Like a in-between guy, somebody that, like he would be like the face, of the group. But I feel like, yeah, he flatlined. Like he could have been such a good character, and Jeremy, he's a good actor too. I remember like one of his like first movies, he played Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer, and I still love that movie. Like, to me, that's all like I think about when I see him on screen. So he definitely knows what to do. I feel like his role just kind of got lost and wasn't really given a lot of attention in the movie.
Especially since he gave so much to Benji.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, how can you not? I mean, Simon Pegg is just so cool.
Oh, well, you're talking about cool. You got to talk Ving Rhames.
Oh,
just comes up, puts his hat on, just kind of like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, I could be doing this at home.
I'm glad they added him back in here, though, because he was missing from Ghost Protocol. He was only in one scene. And it was just kind of like, damn, like, I like Luther. He's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool character. And I think he's like a puppy dog. Like, he's so faithful to Ethan. He's like, yo, if I feel like you're playing the wrong side. Like, aw, you're so cute.
What did you think of Elsa? I thought she was alright. Like, she, she held her own. She wasn't that stereotypical, oh, well, she's beating a guy up and we need to broadcast it over air. It was like, when she's a woman, that kind of a thing. But she wasn't a damsel in distress either, so it was like a good happy medium. Like,
yeah.
They could have made her character male and it would have made any difference whatsoever. And
True.
It's good to just be like, but she's a female. Okay, go with it. Like,
yeah. And the one thing I really, really appreciated, and like I've been thinking a lot about this, how like female characters sometimes, they're either very feminine and like the damsel in distress and they need to be saved, they need to be helped, or they're like the badass chicks who have like the studs on their belts and they have like a wife beater on, like they're like...
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like there's these two types of major like female characters, and I thought that she was good at fighting, like at the scene where she's in a knife fight, like that was so badass to me. I love that because it's so physical, and she gets like knocked out and she gets punched, and that was cool too. But at the same time, she always presented herself as a woman. Like she wasn't trying to be, she wasn't trying to look badass. Like she was always like wearing like really nice outfits that looked good on her.
Especially at the opera.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that dress at the opera was so gorgeous. And yeah, there was that scene that I felt was kind of like, oh, of course, like you have a scene where she shows her leg and there's like a big like focus on the camera, like fine. But
that was the scene where my friend who was watching it next to me was just like, just like I woke up like. Yeah,
I feel like for a movie like Mission Impossible, I would guess that they would have more scenes like that one, and I was kind of happy that it was just like one scene and she wasn't like being shown as this sex object all the time. Like she was badass, and and I kind of wasn't sure if I could trust her right away, and she was just very smart and she was cool, and I thought that I liked her. I actually really liked her, and the way that she killed the bone doctor with that knife, like, girlfriend, I like that.
I'm very glad that she didn't kiss Ethan at the end.
Me too! I was like, oh my god, they're gonna make out now, it's gonna be so stupid, or they're gonna like, she's gonna be like, oh, you know where to find me, and then it's gonna be a scream like, few months later, and it's gonna be like her and Ethan in Cuba, like sunbathing or something like that, and I was just glad that it was just like a hug, and at the same time, she was very like tender, and I don't know, like, she was very, she was very like tender and, 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 loving to him, the way she hugged him, but he wasn't, let's make out and let me throw you against the wall and rip your clothes off. And it was nice. It was refreshing. I like that.
There's a good difference when it comes to Ethan Hunt and Bond, because Bond would be like, so, fuck?
Yes, exactly. I just remember in the last movie where the girl was like saying that she's been like pretty much like a sex slave, and she's been part of like the sexual traffic, and she's been taken to a bunch of different places. Cuts to he enters the shower her and he has sex with her. Like, oh my god, you're such a douchebag.
Just pops up behind her and he's just kind of like, what, you're used to it? Come on.
You're used to it. Yeah, why not? You know. Oh, but it's okay. It's Daniel Craig, so he can do whatever he wants. He's a sexy monkey looking man. I love him.
Monkey looking? Because when you think sexy looking, you think monkeys.
Him in particular, like I'm very attracted to him. He does look like a monkey though, but he's very sexy. He's a sexy monkey. It's like that.
If anybody needs to take a direct quote from this podcast, it'll be that. Daniel Craig is a sexy monkey, says Caroline Oliveira. I'm going to have to try to remember that for Spectre when it comes to
Oh, yes! I'm so pumped for that! For so many reasons. Yeah.
When that trailer came on before this movie, I was just kind of like, yeah, that's going to be even better than this.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. And Monica Bellucci's going to be in it, and she's just so amazing. I love her. It's going to be good.
So, what was your favorite action scene in the movie? For this one, not Spectre, because it hasn't come out yet.
My favorite one, I would say, was the knife fight between Elsa and the guy. If not that one, I had a lot of fun with the whole motorcycle thing. And normally I don't really like car chases and stuff like that. I don't know if it's because they were in Morocco and like those roads they were at were so like scary and there are so many trucks around. That was cool. Yeah, but I would still go with the knife fight.
I'd probably go with the gunfight at the end.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, I liked the idea of the airplane at the beginning. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
But there was something about the sound, at the very least, when it came to the gunfight at the end that really stood out to me. Like, the gunshots really packed a punch, and I was just kind of like, damn, that's really good that they were able to, like, you know, when you hear them shoot out the glass in a car, it actually was, like, very crisp and stuff. And,
yeah, I feel like they did that. They did now thinking about it, like, they did a really good job with gunshots. The one time where, Lane, he points Elsa comes and she tells him, like, oh, if you want to kill me, like, be a man about it, like, kill me right now. And he shoots her gun, but he catches the guy behind her. Like, that startled me. Like, that sound went like, oh my God. Like, I thought that she was shot. And yeah, you're right. It was totally the sound. And that was really, really cool. And the music was really nice, too, throughout the movie.
Well, that theme song is just so good.
It really is.
It's not as good as the Bond one, but...
Yeah, well...
I don't remember much of the rest of the soundtrack, though. Like, I'll have to go back and listen to it. Because either it was good enough that it blended in the background, or it wasn't memorable enough that it stood out. Like, I can't really tell if that's positive or a negative.
Well, I remember this one specific point in the movie where it was... And I feel like they did that throughout the movie. They took the theme music, and then they just did, like, soft variations on it. So if it was, like, a slower scene, not that this movie is slow by any means, they kind of took that. I think it was, like, during the opera even, that they switched the song a little bit around where it would still make sense while the opera was playing, but you could still detect that it was the Mission Impossible music, and I thought that was pretty cool. And the opera was really awesome. Like, I'm gonna go to that opera shit.
I can't stand that stuff.
That dress, no, that looked so cool. Come on, like, it was Japanese, and they had masks, and they had like a cherry tree in there. It was so cool.
Oh, you're selling me on it with that cherry tree. see what else we have here. Music we covered. We covered action. Anything that stood out to you, positive or negative, for special effects?
Like visual effects or like more like makeup related stuff. I'll talk about both. Why not? Visually, it was so cool. Like all those gadgets, the key thing, the whole computer hidden inside the opera book was really, really cool too. I mean, I'm just kind of a sucker for any movie that has like really cool technology like that. It's just like so, yeah. Like it's very futuristic, but to me, I still feel like it could happen at any moment. Like if Apple wanted to do it, they could probably.
If they wanted to make a flute gun.
Yeah, oh my god! Yes, that gun was so cool! Okay, that was probably like my favorite weapon in a movie. And I did love the knives, but that gun was so badass. That was so cool. That was, I'm gonna go on and on about that gun, but I think like it was...
I like that too. I thought that was really cool.
It was awesome. Like, it was so, so cool. Special effects wise, I mean, the one thing that I have with the Mission Impossible movies, which is, it's just me being a total snob, is the whole mask stuff. Like, it just bothers me how they, like, take this mask that is just, like, shapeless, and they put it on, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, that person is just, like, it changes their face 100%, and it's already, like, glued down, and when they want to get rid of it, they just rip it out. I'm like, oh, my God, if you did that in real life, you wouldn't have, like, the first layer, or maybe the third and the second layer of your skin in your face anymore. It's just, but I mean, other than that, it was good. I mean, I guess for everything that Ethan went through in the movie, at the end, he only had like 7 scratches on his face.
And they're conveniently in like photogenic parts.
You gotta keep him gorgeous, I guess, and
a little bit below the eye on the one side,
he was
a little bit on the forehead. Like...
No dirt around the blood. He was just super clean. He just looked like somebody like, okay, which areas can we still like cover with some blood but still make him attractive? Oh yeah, let's put like a little bit of blood on that part of his nose that looks a little funky. Yeah, that hides a little bit of his nose, but you know, that's good. He still looks good.
Elsa gets stabbed like 6 times, but not a single time in the face.
No, she has like 1 bruise on her face the whole movie, and I feel like she got pounded so bad. Oh, that sounded bad. She didn't get pounded. She didn't get pounded in a movie like that.
Not a Bond film.
No, in, out. Whatever Angela said earlier. Shout out to Angela. Yeah, no, she gets like beaten up in the first scene she's in, kind of badly, and I think the whole movie she only has like 1 bruise at the end that is not even a bruise, it's just like red on one of her cheekbones or her flawless face. And Simon Pegg too. I feel that, I mean, he's in a car crash. He doesn't have anything on his face. Like, he got like sweaty at one point. That was about it. Yeah, and yeah, it's whatever. I guess they use the whole budget for car crashes and stuff like that, and the flute gun, which I'm not mad about at all. That can happen every time in every movie. That was pretty cool.
So, what would you say are the biggest hits and the biggest misses from the film, if 2 things stand out to you?
Well, I liked, and this is like, it's like so not like story related, but I really liked all the locations in the movies. Like, whenever I watch movies like this, it like Bond movies as well, and the Mission Impossible, I feel like we get to travel to all these different like gorgeous locations, and it's kind of cool. Like, I love that they picked some in Europe and then Cuba, and that was cool. And I liked Elsa. I liked how they, I mean, I'm sure they could have still like developed her even more. But I liked all the stuff that we talked about, that she's not overly sexualized. She's she's tough, but she's still feminine. She's a character of her own. Like she wants to do what she thinks it's right. Even when she brings all the info to the British guy, and she's like pretty much like betraying Ethan, and he's like, yeah, no, you're doing your job. Like she's doing her job. Like she's doing what she thinks is right, and she's not thinking of her heart. Like some movie shows that females are only capable of being in love and only doing that. Oh yeah, I would say. Oh yeah, and the flute was pretty badass. I cannot say enough about that. Yeah, it was good. I also feel like, especially because I just rewatched the first one, it definitely got a lot better. Character-wise, story-wise. Yes, it's not a movie that you have to be really paying attention to and really trying to understand the depth of the story and the characters. But the story itself was way more interesting than in the first movie, for instance. So, yeah, that's more than two things. But, yeah, those are the things that I liked. The big miss for me was definitely the villain. I was hoping that he was going to be, especially because he's supposed to be this really brilliant, powerful guy who is able to get all these people from different nationalities and create this one go of chaos and controlling all of that and being super smart. I felt like he got beat pretty easily, and he was creepy just because he looked creepy, but I don't know, like he should have done, like maybe even if he just like talked really close to somebody all the time. Like I feel like the creepiest thing he did in the movie was just to stand there looking creepy in a turtleneck and maybe like grabbing Elsa's face. So I just wanted more. I wanted like Javier Bardem in Skyfall. Odd, like weird guy, like
missing teeth and weird ass wig.
Gorgeous.
I gotta say, my biggest hit's probably the pacing of the film. It's so much easier to get through than like that first movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you get to the point where you start to feel like maybe there should be an action scene coming up, then they hit you with one. But it ends before it gets too tiresome. Like, usually car chases bother me in movies. Like, I'm not a big car guy. So if it goes on too long, it's kind of like, all right, I get it. Like, they're going to screech the tires and one person's going to bump into somebody else. And, you know, there's not too many things that you can do in car chases. But this one kept my attention the whole way through, so that was kind of cool. Like, probably pacing. But my negative, it's almost kind of a positive. I don't know where they're going to go from here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is the fifth movie. They're going to make a sixth one. And maybe that's going to be the last one. I don't know. But if they are, they've already done, you know, the IMF guy who's the mentor is the problem. They've already done the friend who's the problem. They've done basically the clone with the second film where it's like he's the guy who is equal to you. Ghost Protocol's got the whole on the run thing.
Yeah.
Rogue Nation's got the on the run thing and the idea of the anti-IMF. So it's like, what the hell's next? They can't just do
Alec Baldwin's gonna be bad or something.
Maybe, I don't know. And it's
I don't know, yeah.
So I kind of, like, I think that they almost shot themselves in the foot, and they kind of should have almost done this as the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do, like, another movie to build up the Syndicate, and that would have been kind of cool. But I guess, you know, I mean, benefit of the doubt, they might prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm not too sure, so that's my miss is speculation about the future, I guess.
One thing I did want to ask, and I was just thinking about it when you're talking about the pace. To me, I feel like it was kind of too long. It was 2 hours plus something long. And I don't know, like I always drink soda in a movie. And I guess that's my fault. But at the end, I was kind of like, oh my God, please. This has to end right now. I'm gonna die. My blood splatter's gonna burst. But I just kind of felt, I don't know if it's because they really wanted to pack all, the car chasing and all those more action sequences that it felt long at times. But at the same time, I was like, it couldn't possibly end now. Like, they still have stuff that they need to finish with, But, to me, I don't know. I'm kind of biased when a movie's too long. And 2 hours, it's too long for me because
2 hours and 11 minutes, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot.
See, I'm the opposite. I think that movies should be 8 hours long.
You're crazy. I
marathon things, and I loved going to the Avengers marathon where they did Iron Man all the way up to Avengers for 12 hours. But
that's cool because it's still different movies. If it's the same movie for over 3, when is Caroline gonna go to the bathroom?
Caroline's gonna have to fill out
wear a diaper.
Yeah, you gotta eat popcorn with your drink so it absorbs some of it.
No, but then popcorn makes me even thirstier, and I have to drink more.
But then you just eat more popcorn to counterbalance it.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I can't, okay?
You do that over and over until you reach the point where you just, pass out.
No, I can't. I need a break. Movies shouldn't be that long. I have a bad attention span as well. Please, cut to the chase. Don't...
Oh, you should never watch 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, I have. Are you kidding me? I wanted to die. I actually had to watch it in 3 days because I couldn't just watch it in one sitting. I was like,
it's pretty rough.
I can't. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Yeah, it really is. But I can't do that. And some of my movies are 2 hours long. My favorite movies are 2 hours long. But still, this is an action movie. I don't think it needs 2 hours and 11 minutes to explain a whole lot. So that was one thing that I didn't really like.
Fair enough. Were you bored at any points?
I was just kind of okay, I get it. They need to find this. Just go. Or, oh my god, another motorcycle? Come on. You already, killed 5 of those guys. Move on. It's just kind of it needed, I feel it could have been edited down a little bit.
So, I think that kind of rounds us out. It's not one of those movies that we can break down for hours and hours. But, anything that you haven't said that you want to touch on yet? Or sing about?
Well, I guess Tom Cruise looks good. I was when he's when he doesn't have a shirt on, he looked like he worked out. Nicely for this movie. I was kind of impressed. I'm not a big fan of his, but I was oh, okay, he got ready for this role.
That's good for 52.
Yeah, he looks really good. Oh, and I just want to point out that one other thing about Elsa that I really liked was that she did not have tons of Botox on her forehead, so she still had expression lines. And that was really, really cool because I could actually tell if she was upset.
Well, that would have been kind of funny if it would have been the whole idea of the mask thing. And they're this is clearly a mask. Let's just take this off. And she's oh, no, that's my face.
That's my face. It's just frozen that with botulism.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that is it for our Rogue Nation review. Make sure you leave those comments below. Tell us what you thought about us and any other thoughts you have on the Mission Impossible franchise, too. Go back, check out that For Real Movie Club if you want to hear more of our opinions about those movies. And I don't know what the next review point's going to be, but I know Fantastic Four's coming out, and that's probably going to be atrocious. So, who knows? Maybe the next review point's going to be just all misses. Just everything with that movie. So if you, bottom line, have to give it a hit or a miss, you giving it a hit?
I would say if you enjoy action movies, I would say go watch it. It's not the very best action movie ever, but it's entertaining, and I feel it's a fun movie. You don't have to think about it. You can just go and watch, and it's fun. So, yeah, if you like those movies, go.
I'm giving it a hit too. And the same kind of reasoning, you can't go into it expecting an Oscar film, but it's fun. It's got cool action scenes. It's, not offensive in any way whatsoever. Yeah. So anything you want to plug before we say goodbye to everybody?
Well, guys, just make sure you always checking Fanboys Anonymous and check out my website, CZOF as in face, X as in X-ray.com. That's it.
Just as she said, check out Fanboys Anonymous for all the things coming up soon. Whatever those other podcasts are, but even if there's not any podcasts coming your way, then there's always the articles and stuff like that. Follow the Facebook, follow the Twitter account. If you're listening to us right now on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to iTunes and Stitcher. If you're on either one of those and you haven't left your review yet, go and leave a review about us and subscribe to our YouTube page, youtube.com/fanboysanonymous. And that's it for episode 17. So thank you, everybody, for listening. We will see you at episode 18 or whenever we see you. But nonetheless, we are fanboys and fangirls and everything else like that. So we're sticking around. Adios, everybody.